Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
So I had moved them out of my house because I couldn't take the weed smoke and all that. But I told them, listen, here's an apartment. It's brand new. I'm going to pay for it for a year while y'all get yourselves together. You are now 25 and 22. 24 and 21.
So you were still trying to help them to become the men that they were supposed to be.
Right.
Even though they were fully grown adults.
Fully grown adults. 24 and 21. Here's your place. Now all your friends come over there. Be creative. You have all these people staying with you. Have them pay some rent. $100 here, whatever you have to do while you guys can get your music off the ground. They had produced a record at my house. It was out. It was doing well. My whole team put them at the Roxy on Sunset.
Yep.
They started doing live gigs. Now 50 people showed up the first time. The second one, maybe 75, 100 people showed up. It's going too slow. They quit. Here's this apartment. You can, I'm going to pay for everything, but get your life together. Figure out what you're going to do. You have this much time. A year passes. They still haven't done it. I said, okay, I'll do another year. Here's your second year.
Wow, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Anton Daniel, shout out to this guy, man. This show here, man, this podcast, I've watched him often, seen him striving, come in the game, kind of like I did, and just working, and he's more of it surprised me to see the interview, because he more deals with, I think, entrepreneurship and a lot of the latest news like me as well. But shout out to him. But man, he did a heck of an interview here with Brian McKnight. And Brian McKnight is really pouring his heart out about family and the stuff that's been spilled out on the internet. OG, you there?
Man, I'm right here. Brian McKnight is a hypocrite.
OG, first of all, we're not going to get on here and talk about Brian McKnight when Brian McKnight, in a bad way, when he's taking care of them kids till they was grown as hell.
Ain't that what we talking about, Brian McKnight?
I said and talk about him in a bad way when he done took care of them kids until they was grown as hell. I said it.
Okay, and
22, 20, and one of them passed away.
Brian McKnight is still a hypocrite.
How?
Well, I'm as I dug deeper into the web, and I'm looking at Brian McKnight, and he's talking about with his first wife, he was never in love. It was a situationship, right?
Yeah.
So she was a black woman, right?
Right.
And so now he done found the love of his life.
She like Hawaii? She Asian.
She a Mexican. Her name is Mendoza.
Okay. She looked Asian.
Liliana Lalani Milan Mendoza. Often referred to her as his true love of his life. And this is such a Sambo theory. Now I got the love of my life because she's white. So I just don't. I understand, being with somebody that you just don't care about. I was on a detail with a man that was in a situationship and got caught up and had a baby by a girl. And the first child was a little girl, and he was like, we was doing the detail, and he was like, really wasn't feeling her. And then she gets pregnant again with a son, and she told him if he didn't marry her, she was going to have an abortion. And he already had an older daughter, and then this other daughter, she had already had a child, but he never loved her. He never really cared. He only married her because he wanted this boy, Amir, right?
Right.
And it was a strain on the relationship, and she tried to possess some stuff that really didn't belong to her. And he finally found somebody he really fell in love with and doing real good. But I see that when you don't like somebody, you just don't like them. You know what I'm saying?
So, no, go ahead. Finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
I just see what he's saying. I think he said he got married in 90 and they divorced in 2003.
Yeah.
and he had children with her, but sometimes you can just be mad about it. And you know what I'm saying?
Oh, gee, how big is it, man, that it keeps rolling on the internet? Like this guy here, him and his kids going back and forth on the internet in such a way, with him being so private of a person, you never really heard of or even seen Brian McKnight in the movement. All you heard was the great music that he was putting out. Now that this internet has become a thing, his sons cry out after he moves and leave them and abandon them, as they say, or as he says, he abandoned him. He's 26. Did he abandon him?
Yeah, because we was on Warner Brothers, right?
Right.
And Brian used to come over, and he was my partner that was on Warner Brothers, Tony Hustle.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Hustle. His uncle was Glenn Goins from Parliament Funkadelic, right?
Okay.
And his mother's real talented. Shout out to Miss Prayer.
Okay.
And we was on. He was young and this and that. And I remember one day we was in the hall. We was going, and he saw Brian, like, damn, that's Brian McKnight. And dude like looked at us like we was like nothing, you know. And then
whoa.
You know, he was, but what was the name of it? Green Day. Green Day was some white boys on Warner Brothers, right?
Right.
We did an event at Tom Wally's house, the president of Warner Brothers, right?
Right.
And Green Day walked up to him. The white boys he melted. Well, man, we really like your music, man. I said, this is a Tom. You know, I never gave him any credit on a black card. You know.
Wow. Well, OG, first of all, he knew them. If he had a relationship with them, he don't know you.
He didn't know Green Day at all.
Well, he felt like they was on a level and you guys wasn't.
They were white.
No, it wasn't that they were white. He had his friends that he wanted to communicate with. What y'all gonna talk to him about? Robbing, stealing, going to prison? What are y'all gonna talk about?
And you're the same categorizing Negro that feels like every time you see a black, we rob and kill and steal. That's that Abernathy attitude that you have. I'm more than that. And brother, he has never been arrested. He's not like me and you. He grew up
Whoa, don't put me in. All I'm saying is, what the hell is Brian McKnight gonna talk to y'all about? Y'all running around there looking like Thugalicious, running around there.
Wait a minute. These clear people, they were the ones shabby. This brother had on, you know, you have to dress. You Negroes feel like you have to impress through your clothes. I don't believe that, you know. And so we have to dress the best in order to be acknowledged. A clear person come in with some raggedy jeans on, a musty shirt, and you fall all over him just because of his. And it's neither here nor there. Brian McKnight is the same.
No, and it's funny you said he looked at y'all a certain way. It's the same kind of concept that this boy from Joe Budden speaks out on him about, you know, and it's crazy because we, you know, sometimes meet people and the way we meet them, it does affect us. Cause I'm not gonna say his name, but I just met somebody that I was like, man, this dude, it really you know, the way he acting, his body language when he dealing with me versus seeing how he dealing with others, I really would never care to speak to him. When I see a nigga, it's on site, nigga, if you say something wrong, I'll slap you. And that's the way I was looking at it, but I really don't need to look, cause I'm a Christian, I'm trying to change. I don't want to see you rubbing off. I don't even do that no more. But at any rate, I'm just saying sometimes you can meet people and they do rub you the wrong way. Here's a guy that's on Joe Budden podcast that spoke out about it. And actually, well, first of all, I'll listen and see what on Anton's show, what Brian said. Because Brian said he actually reached out to Joe Budden him. And when he reached out to Joe Budden show, they didn't even rock out with him. He wanted to kick it with him. Listen at this.
Here's the thing. Why can't we sit and talk about it?
Yeah, I agree.
I send a message to Joe Budden's podcast. Crickets. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But who's that Mark, the guy, the political
Mark
guy?
Lamont Hill.
Let me tell you something. I'd destroy that dude.
Yeah.
I would destroy him. Not physically, but in
I
a
understand
debate.
what you're saying.
Because you don't even know me. But you call me an asshole?
Yeah. Well, I look at Mark Lamont Hill. There's a segment of people that are what I like to call, they like to champion themselves as intellectuals, right? And that they truly believe that they're smarter than everybody else. But I don't really believe that because I never see the results.
Right.
It never translates, right? So
I see people hand him his I see people handing him his ass all the time.
yeah, it's easy to, I mean, it's easy to say that, you know, I'm the smartest guy in the room, but it doesn't necessarily translate into results, right? So I decided that I would do stuff on my own, and then I would have the conversations authentically with people that I actually value. And getting to know you over the years, I'm happy that you had an opportunity to tell your perspective and your story on my platform. Let me ask you one more question, because there's been a lot of people from the Ricky Smileys to all of these different type of people that run with a narrative but doesn't necessarily seek the truth. Do you think that they have a greater responsibility on their platforms to be not only entertaining, but also objectively try to find the truth, to have these conversations, especially when they have the opportunity to reach out to you and it's not like you're hard to find?
I think that absolutely they do. And I'll tell you why. One of the reasons why the average watcher or listener is the way that they are is because they see and idolize the people that are acting the way that they do.
Right.
So why would they be any different? Why would they seek the truth? Why would they look for the truth if the people that they put up on a pedestal don't look for the truth either?
Right.
They're more responsible than anyone because they've got the bigger platform. So when I go out and I call somebody out about it and they don't reach back, that just tells me you're a coward, that you don't have the intestinal fortitude.
Wow. So first of all, Mark Lamont Hill is a guy who does have done interviews. He's been on CNN. He's a guy who feels like he's educated just like y'all. And he's a brother too. It says right here, Mark Lamont Hill is an American academic, author, activist, and television personality. He is professional of urban education and Connie Graduate Center of New York City. He is the host of Upfront and Al Jazreel English, VH1 Live, VH1 Basketball Wives Reunion. He's done his things too. So when you look at him and what he says, he feels like his stuff is of value, just like AD's, just like Brian McKnight, and he speaks back to him, because I'm gonna play that next. But the thing is, you guys are all great people. That's what I'm saying. I've looked at Brian McKnight's done some great things in his career. When you look at AD, he's on his way, and Mark Lamont Hill, they all got talent. But now it becomes a who caught the biggest fish, who can do this the furthest, who's the best at this, and that's what ego can be our worst amigo. So when you look at these guys and their machismoism starts to pop out, then you see that, okay, I feel like I'm better than you at this. So I'll watch Mark Lamont Hill. If I had him in a debate, I'll watch him. And so this is what we got here when it comes to this. And I'm going to play this part because, OG, I know you're going to have a lot to say on this. Let me play what Mark Lamont Hill said.
I don't remember calling him an ass, but he's an ass. Let me be clear. Brian McKnight, is this my camera? Brian McKnight, you are an ass. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. It's not a beef. We ain't got no issues. You just an ass. I'm basing that on having interviewed Brian McKnight lots of times. Since I wasn't going to mention this, but I've interviewed you lots of times. You were rude and nasty to everybody on my crew. Everybody on my team, you were nice to me. But the measure of being an ass isn't how you treat the host. It's how you treat everybody around him. Yeah. And you've been a dickhead to them. No disrespect to you, except you're an ass. I was in the airport in Eastern Europe. I was headed somewhere. You were headed somewhere different. I watched a woman come up to you and ask you for an autograph, and you completely ignored and disrespected her and walked off. You're an ass. But that's not why we're talking about this. So you say, I don't know you. Right. I don't know you. But I don't have to know you to know you're an ass. I don't get into your family business. Your family business has nothing to do with me, except when you make it public. And when you put your family in public on blast, that might make you an ass. That's all I'm saying. When you have children and you say my children are the product of evil, that might make you an ass. When somebody says, yo, but the Bible says you should love your children, you say my older children were the product of sin. That might make you an ass. That's just a fact. When you have a child named Brian McKnight Jr., and then you fall out with them, have a new baby, name him Brian McKnight with a different middle name, and then legally change your name to the new kid's name, you tried to start back at one with your kids? Nigga, that might make you an ass. So please, don't act like you better than us. You're not. You're worse than us. If you want to come up here and debate, I'm sure they would let you debate. But you didn't contact nobody. You're lying, just like your children say you lie. And for the record, I have spoken to your children off the record, and they've told me a laundry list of shit about you that's way worse than anything has ever happened in the public. I'm not going to say that on air. We could keep that between me and you. But if you keep doing this, I will put it out.
See, that's the thing.
So now, if you want the smoke, keep coming, or we can just stop this right here, my brother. God bless.
Brian McKnight.
Wow, gee, I'm gonna let you. That was Mark Lamont. I told you, he's educated like y'all. He had a lot to say. OG, what did you think about it? You heard both sides of each story, from ADs to Brian McKnight to Mark Lamont Hill. What did you think about it?
It just confirms what I say. But see, you have to understand, Brian McKnight is not just a singer. He's a pseudo-intellectual. He went to college in a Seventh-day Adventist college, university in Alabama, with all these white folks. And he went to school for engineering and science. So he's a Cat Williams, a savant that could sing. And in his mind, he's not with us, he's among us. You know, when you know, it irks me when you say that they've done a lot for the community. Just because you sang, you ain't built no buildings for black people. Because you jump up and do some coon dancing and run around and acting like a town jester, you're not uplifting black America. So what are you doing for us? And that's why I presented to you the scenario about how he approached Green Day and how he approached my friend Tony Hustle. I'm not approachable. I just don't walk up on people and introduce myself. I don't bring no Kool-Aid. If you don't come to me, more likely we're not going to even meet. So I'm not that impressed with people like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But just like you say, when you see the energy of somebody, and I hate to get into a room where it's me and you and another black, and he gets the samboing for these white folks, making us look bad, like all of us are supposed to do it.
Wow. So you agree with Mark Lamont Hill, or do you think that he's going too far?
100%. That, you know, when you put yourself in such a position where you publicly articulate that your children are at fault and it's not you. And I can understand in some cases when the mother is so bitter, she says some stuff about a father or a husband that can turn a child around. But your abandonment, when you say, I never loved her from the beginning. So the creation of that body was not out of love. That means he is exactly right. The child is not his. It belongs to the devil, because your creation wasn't that. You was part of a dark place when you did it.
Okay, I want to go back on something you said. You tried to disagree with me and tell me about, you tried to disagree with me.
Hold up, bro. I do a darn good job of disagreeing with you, Abernathy.
Okay, well, I'll take the Abernathy, because Abernathy was a great guy. Martin Luther King was a great guy. Malcolm X Jr. over there. But let me go on further and just get back to the subject at hand. I just want to let you know that this guy, Brian McKnight, is definitely one that has contributed to the community when it comes down to uplifting other children that might want to be artists and creative, might want to go to college that you just so named, might want to do certain things that he's seen in Brian McKnight that he didn't know he had the willpower to do. But just seeing Brian McKnight do it and knowing it can be accomplished is a motivation within itself. So for you to sit back here and act as if he didn't motivate and create situations that gave a birth to a lot of our young R&B artists. It's a lot of artists that'll tell you, hell yes, he gave me motivation. So all that trying to talk down on what I said about him being a motivated, I meant it in that way. So I stand to correct you and let you know that basically I did say it and I meant it, and I'm standing on the fact that he did. No, I said that he is he helped a lot of people, and I'm standing on that.
Who did he help? Name some.
People who became artists, man. I'm not gonna sit here and go back and forth with you about that.
Those people that have talent, they would have been talented anyway because God gave them that. Brian McKnight didn't. He doesn't have a Brian McKnight school for upcoming artists. He doesn't have a boot camp for little black children that want to be producers, engineers. He has well, he didn't get the degree, but he went to school for engineering and science. He doesn't do anything in those realms. Name me one thing that he's done.
I'll tell you exactly. Let me answer that. I got it right here on the tip of my tongue. I seen him when he was on Martin Lawrence show, and he said, "And I never meant this way about your love." And I said, man, a lot of kids probably gonna see that, and they seen him singing when Martin proposed to Gina on there on a big stage, for us being on a sitcom, and being able to see that basically, man, look at the level of his tonality, the way that this man sings these songs and articulate these songs. So I don't care what you say.
That was the weakest comeback on the Martin Lawrence show.
Yes, that was. I remember seeing that, and a lot of other kids seen that too. A lot of other people seen that.
I remember seeing Bill Bojangles Robinson dancing with Shirley Temple.
Okay.
It make me want to tap dance.
Well, that's a different scenario. This guy's an artist. His voice is his tool to help people, man. His voice is his tool, man. What do you want him to do?
Oh my goodness, you as shallow as he is.
Whatever. This man's voice has been creatively motivating. He sung everywhere, at weddings and everywhere else, because of the fact of him doing that. The people sang this song everywhere, trying to bring these weddings to fruition. All I'm telling you is, don't count him out as if he didn't help the culture, because he stood on that stage when nobody else did.
Wait a minute. How you gonna help the community? You can't help your own children. They say some of the.
He did help his children, OG.
Wait a minute. They say some of the smoothest voices come from the devil himself. So
yeah, you're right about that.
So you sang so eloquently. Don't make you saving my life.
OG, he helped his kids. That's what I'm telling you. He just said it right here. 22, 26. What time, when is it enough is enough? Your kids got to get their ass out and go out there and work too. My kids, I put them out when they 19. I don't believe in letting them sit in my house.
Excuse me, my brother.
Go ahead.
He paid child support. That's all he did.
No, they lived with him too.
It was commanded by the court, and they lived in the house. They never lived with him because he was on tour all the time.
It's still his house, OG.
He's not in the house.
He comes home, but he comes home periodically. He has to go to work.
Goes out with a white woman. Since you know that record says, a home is a house.
That is not his song. That's Luther Vandross, man.
I'm just trying to say, I'm telling you the song.
A house is still it's not a home when there's no one there. Yeah, that's right. I get it. But that ain't. All I'm telling you is this, and I want you to get this through your skull. Get this in there. He took care of them kids. He ended up having a divorce. He had to divorce the woman because he wasn't with her no more. It was a messy divorce, and all this stuff trickulated down from that. And this is what you have to, now there has to be some forgiveness, OG. See, this is what you don't understand. Now he can forgive if he can, and they've talked about it. This is a step in the right direction. He's talking about it. They're talking about it. Now we got to talk on the table. Now the son can forgive the father, and the father can maybe forgive the son, and we can move past this at some point. But this is a part of going through the breaking of the clay, and this is the part of going through the pruning of a leaf to get the plant to grow. This is the cutting part where you have to talk about this stuff, get it on the table. So it's messy and it's seem crazy because in the public eye, but this is the very thing that can cause it to start to develop in a way that it causes mending and forgiveness. I'll say that.
Forgiving is one thing, but I'll never forget. So I don't care how I forgive you, I ain't fucking with you no more.
Oh, gee, you just an honorary boy. I tell you, honor as hell. If that man, that's that man's son, bruh. Gotta let it go. He got to let it go.
Wait a minute. What did you say? He just changed his name to a younger son just because he light skinned.
I got to get off here. I'm not doing this with you, OG. We went too far already. I see right now you ain't gonna stop. You're not gonna stop it, and you're doing this purposely now. You know already that's that man's son, and he got to mend that. And his other son, he lost him. And you don't. Let me tell you something, man. You don't want to be asking him for forgiveness at the casket.
And he didn't even go to the funeral.
You don't want to be asking your son to forgive you when it's too late. You don't want to be asking your dad to forgive you when it's too late, son. Go talk to your daddy. Son, Brian, go talk to your son. Let's get this thing out of the way, man. Guys, if you're still watching, OG agree with that part. Oh, if you're still watching, guys, make sure you guys, man, check out Mike Epps. Mike Epps had a lot to say about people getting out of prison, man, and it's blowing back in his face, man. Boss Talk 101, man, reviews.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.